Hello football fans and United fans. Yep, you guessed it. Right in front of me is the third kit for 25-26. There's so many differences between both versions. Both of these are genuine merchandise. This one is called the Replica or the match shirt, stadium shirt, sorry. And this one is called the Authentic, because this is exactly what the players wear on the pitch. And in this video, I'm going to show you all the differences between both versions. One's £85, the other is £120. By the end of this video, you're going to know which one's best for you. Show you first the trefoil Adidas logo, looking absolutely beautiful there, stitched and embroidered on the fan shirt. And it's stitched and embroidered for more durability. But look how nice that looks. Beautiful yellow colourway against the black. A sneak little peek at the material there, but we'll get into that shortly. Okay, we're going to compare that to the player version, which, as always, once the camera focuses, is a heat-applied transfer, but look how crisp and clean that looks. It has like a stitch effect, but it's not actually stitched. It's just a rubberized heat applied transfer. Looks really good. And a sneak peek at the material on the Authentic, the Heat Ready material. We'll get into that, as I said, shortly. Okay, so next I'll show you the club crest, the club badge, which is shielded and looks absolutely beautiful look. So that is stitched, it's an embroidered patch, which is stitched onto the shirt, but look how nice, let me zoom in. Look how nice that is. Beautiful stitching, look. How good does that look? And we're going to compare that, the £85 version, to the player version, £120, which of course is a heat applied rubberized transfer. So this whole thing is one big patch, but it has really nice intricate details within, look. So if I do that, it looks really good, I must say, but is it as good as the stitched and embroidered version? I don't think so, but let's just look at that again there. And then quickly over back to the replica version, the fan version. Tough choices on this shirt, I'll tell you. But the Snapdragon logo, pretty much identical. I can never really tell any differences between that and that. At this point, I'm pretty sure it's the same actual transfer, so nothing much to report on those. But next I'm going to show you the collar, which is a rounded cross neck, kind of V-neck look. But let's get into that. And it goes all the way around. Both of these are a size large, by the way, made in Vietnam. UK L, large. US is large across the board except for Japan, which is 2XL. And then we come into the 3 stripes on the shirt shoulder, which is a beautiful stitched on, each one's stitched on. And then we come down into the DXC sponsor sleeve, which is pretty much the same as on the other shirt. But let's, oh no, I need to go back to that just to compare the collar against the player version, which straight away you can see it's totally different. It's a different material, it's more perforated, but we do not have the heat pads on the back, which is quite interesting for this shirt. So if you look at all my other videos, the home and the away shirt all have the heat patches on the back. And there's also a little difference between the 3 stripes as well, which has gone back to the old style of last year, which is not heat applied, it's just its own little patch. See, so this little segment here is one patch, rather than just a simple heat applied, horrible heat applied 3 stripes. So that is much better on this shirt. This shirt is screaming big quality to me. So let's compare these sleeves. See a total difference there, look. Different material even, different look. Hopefully you can see all that. Right, so let's get into this AEROREADY material, which it says so there, and you can clearly see the red devils throughout the material, look. And how nice and jazzy and just cool that is, look. So this is the fan version, the stadium shirt. Let's get into the material, look. It's a lovely airy material. It's not heavy, it's nice. But look how cool that looks. Absolutely beautiful shirt, but look at that. And there's no, it's just a straight cut, look. Straight cut on the bottom. And it's a straight cut on the authentic also. There's no segmented parts on the undersleeve here. It's all the same look, which is quite interesting. And even on the authentic, it's the same look. Whereas usually on the home and away, you'd have like a little different segment there, but that's pretty cool, interesting to see. Okay, so there's the AEROREADY fan version. And let's go over to the authentic. Right, this is where it gets interesting now, look, because you can see the red devils, but let's just get down. You can't really see it, can you? But let me just go back to that, and I'll show you that one anyway. That's the authentic licensed badge. There's this little part here you don't get on the replica, which on the underside is the trident, look. That's a really cool touch. But let me get into what I was mentioning about the red devils on the authentic. Now it's like a perforated red devil, it's hard to show. But it's there, and it's so much more prominent on the replica look. But when we go to the authentic, it's harder to see. You can see the stripes. And actually, if I do this, it's really hard to see. It's hard to explain also. Let me think of something. No, you can't see it on the underside either. But, right, this is what I was trying to show, look. This is under a different light now, but you can see that on the sleeve. But it could be just, maybe if you put a touch of wet on it, it might come through a little tad more. But you can just barely see it. See the outline there? Let me pull that too. As you can see, it's more like a printed look on the replica, but on the authentic, it's actually within. See there, that's a perfect. It's actually within the pattern of the material look. Very, very cool. Very, very nice. But I actually do think that is better. It's just more, obviously, it just pops more. But I see and understand what they've done. They've put the quality wise. So that red devil there, you can just faintly see it, look. See it there? It's actually part of the material, which is very, very cool. So with that in mind, you get obviously that one. You can see the red devils all through the stripes perfectly. But it's just within the material on the authentic. Honestly, it screams quality, but obviously you just can't see it. like on this video, it's just not showing through on the camera. But if we flip them over, I'll show you the back anyway. You might just see it a little bit better. So let's flip these over, show you the back. Okay, so this is the back. You can clearly see the Red Devils yet again. And over on the Authentic, you can just about make the stripes out. But if we zoom a little touch further, there we go. There you see it. So that is all within the material. Look, that devil is a material change. It's like perforated. So honestly, it really, really does scream quality, but is it worth that extra price difference? And that looks just so nice. And what I will tell you is this weighs so much less than that, which is very, very strange because that's like a player version. It should be, you know, more snug and tight fitting and all that, but it's quite a loose fitting shirt, this, to be honest. But let me show you the Red Devil on the back, which I can confirm is completely different. So that on the Replica, the fan version, is pretty much just a simple heat applied transfer. Whereas when we go to the Authentic, it is slightly rubberized and it protrudes out a little touch. So it's a totally different transfer there. You can see the back of the neck, the collar at the back there is different. But that's pretty much it for the back. What name and number do you have on the back? Let me know in the comments. Love to hear that. And I'll flip these over now and give you my final thoughts. Okay guys, so final thoughts. I never ever thought I would choose a Replica over an Authentic, but I'm going to have to go with the fan version. It's just better. It feels lighter. It's a thinner material. Obviously the Authentic's got the better quality, especially with the Red Devils and the Embroidered. Look at that. Honestly, it does really look good. You get the little trident part there also, don't forget. But I just prefer, for the first time ever on a United shirt, I prefer the Replica. So let me know what you think. Hopefully this video has helped you out. Don't forget to like, subscribe. Videos every Friday, if possible. If not every Friday, every other Friday. But that's it, guys. Hopefully this helped you out. Let me know. Which version are you? Replica or are you Team Authentic? Don't forget to watch all the other videos popping up right about now. And I will see you all in the next one. Thanks for watching.